Hello everyone. My name is Miles Lee. 안녕하세요. 이마이린이라고 합니다. And welcome to our first Let's Learn Korean with Miles Lee live on YouTube. All right, so this is our first episode of Let's Learn Korea. So this is an online Korean study while doing live stream on YouTube. And I hope that this live Korean study could help our kababayans and other people also who would like to learn the Korean language. So we are going to start with level 1. And for this level, if you can already read already read the Hangul, so the Korean language is called as Hangul. So if you can read now, it will be easy for you to understand. But we can also practice reading, and also we are going to learn new words through sample conversations that I prepared today. All right, again, all you need to do in this Korean language study is just to prepare your pencil, ball pen, and notebook. And you don't need to spend anything to learn the Korean language, and all you need to have is time. So we are going to start maybe around 9, 10. Let's see if we have some other friends that can join us to learn or study the Korean language. So time now in Korea is 9:04 in the evening. Oh, hello, Dongmong TV. Hello, Dongmong TV. So today is my it's like my comeback live stream because it's been a long time since I did live on YouTube. Well, the last time was last Monday, but I feel a little awkward than before. So for today, we're going to study with Milky. This is my eldest son's friend, stuffed toy. So again, just prepare your pencil or ball pen and your notebook so you can take notes of some important words that we are going to study. All right. According to what I heard, learning a new language helps to prevent Alzheimer's disease. So I think by studying together, then we can help each other to prevent one. And also, it's been a long time since I did a lot of talking, and also this would be a way for me to um, not only share but also learn at the same time. So, for your information, um, I did not study the Korean language in the university formally. because some people, they really study a lot, like 1 or 2 years. They study the Korean language for long period of time. But for me, I only had trainings in one of the universities here in Gwangju City, and then I also learned the Korean language from the teachers in Tamuna Center. So Tamuna Center in Korea is the multicultural center. So there, um, the Korean spouses, more of wives of Koreans, are studying the Korean language per level. So from level 1, I think from level 1 to level 5. So after my 2 years of being in Korea, 2 years of staying in Korea, I enrolled in the Multicultural Center, or Tamuna Center, to study and to understand more the Korean language. But I just want to share to you that I am so thankful to my father-in-law, because my father-in-law really trained me a lot to learn the Korean language. So from my day 2 in Korea, so I remember I arrived Saturday in Korea. That was in 2009. And then I took a rest on Sunday. And from Monday, from there on, I always go to my father-in-law's school. So I always stay in the principal's office, because she was a principal, elementary school principal. So in the principal's office, I was trained to read and write. So it's like being a grade 1 student, first grade student. Um, we start when we learn the language, or the English language, we start with the ABC, and for the Filipino language, we start with the abacada. So same thing with Korean. So the difference is just the alphabet. So the alphabet is the, wait, we can say Kanadara, with a combination of consonants and vowels. And by the way, if you would like to learn how to read and write, I also have some videos, and you can just go to my channel and check the playlist of the Korean lesson. And there you can find some lessons for beginners for reading and writing. So I think reading and writing is the basic that we need to learn. Just like in English, I remember we learned English by first writing the alphabet, and then later reading. Because if we know how to read and write, like in my experience, I learned how to read and write the Korean language, and then every time I go out, I look I look around, and then if I see Korean text, I read. And then if I want to know the meaning of something, then I just read, type, and then use the dictionary. And also, if we know how to read and write, then it will be easy for us to learn the pronunciation also. And we don't need to depend on the romanization of the Korean language. So, because sometimes we learned the language by just reading the romanized. So it means the Korean language, the alphabet is being written as, or written to, or changed to English text. So we will be able to read it. So you may check some of the lessons in the playlist that I have, the Korean lesson playlist. So I also prepared a PowerPoint so that we have a guide on the topics that we are going to tackle. So, as I have said, because I did not study formally in the university, so everything, including the techniques, would be based on my experience. So, I will make it easy for you all to learn the language. But the important thing is not to get stressed, because if we get stressed of learning something, like students, if they are stressed of learning something, they don't enjoy, and they just get stressed and easily give up on something. So we are going to simplify how to learn the Korean language. Let's wait for some moment before we start. And by the way, it's rainy season in Korea, and I think it's also rainy season in the Philippines. So it's been raining for almost 3 days, 3 days now, 3 to 4 days of raining. I think it's going to rain the whole week. So by the way, um, our reference for our live Korean study is the Kyolhon Imin Jawa 함께하는 한국어 1. So this is the book that we've used in the Tamuna Center, or the Multicultural Center. And more of the conversation here are about family. So almost we can say that these are the Korean. Hello everyone. 안녕하세요. This is my Korean sentences or words that we can use for daily living. Let's have the background again. Okay, so since that this will be a 1 hour live Korean study, so let me start. And again, welcome to Let's Learn Korean with Miles Lee, 11.1 live on YouTube. Okay, so anyway, as I record this today, so you can replay for studying. So if you want to study later, so anyway, you can replay this. So I may start now with our lesson for today. All right, so I introduce myself. Once again, my name is Miles Lee, and I've been here in Korea for almost 12 years. I am married to a Korean, and right now I am raising 2 sons. And then, what else? Yes, 12 years of being in Korea. And then, yes. I am not a professional um, Korean language teacher, but I am a professional English teacher. And so But then, instead of teaching English, so I'll be teaching the Korean language. So this program is for our kababayans and also for maybe for those people who are in Korea who would like to also improve their skills in using the Korean language. And then the tips on how to learn the Korean language also maybe I mentioned a while ago that it's very helpful to start with the writing and reading and then also practice uh, the spelling and then be mindful of the pronunciation of the sounds. So when Koreans talk outside, or if I hear people talking outside, I always listen to their conversation and I try to remember some expressions that I can also use. Of course, based on different situations. Okay. And then, as I have said earlier, I learned Korean mostly from my father-in-law. So I was trained for long months, I think. Yes. So long months of training with my father-in-law. So reading, writing, and then every day we need to have spelling because spelling is very important. We can't write a sentence if we don't know how to spell words. So that's why he also trained me to spell words. And then for reading practice, I've read a lot of nursery books. And then if I don't understand a word or a sentence, then I try to use the dictionary to understand. And then the very effective way of really learning a new language is by using it. Like learning the English language. I always say to my students, adult students or elementary students, that the best way to learn the language is to practice. Well, yeah, practice makes perfect, and that is true. And so, because we are speaking Korean at home, so it became easy for me to learn the language. That is why in Korea they are actually very good at grammar, but many of my adult students told me that every time they want to talk in English, it's just like the words are not coming out from their mouth. And I said, it is because you are not using the language every day. Because in Korea, we use Korean every day. Only in special occasions like English class, that they can practice speaking English. Unlike in the Philippines, we all know that we are using the English language every day. And at school, if our subject is English, just English, we can speak with our native tongue. We can speak Filipino. And so the best way is to really practice. So if we know how to read and write and then speak even simple sentences, simple sentences, even the grammar is not yet correct, still the practice is the best way to really learn the language. And so let's start with conversation. We're going to start with a conversation. Okay, I hope this is visible. Okay, so this is a conversation of two persons. So the first is Mayrin. So my name is Mylene in English, and in Korean, it is spelled as Mairin. So the sound becomes Mairin, Mairin. And then I also changed my last name to Lee. So my full name is E. Mairin. So in this example, I only used my name, which is Mairin, and the other person that Myron is talking to is Tina. Okay, so I will read to you this conversation. 안녕하세요. 저는 마이린이에요. 안녕하세요. 저는 마이린이에요. 디나? 안녕하세요. 저는 디나예요. 안녕하세요. 저는 디나예요. 만나서 반가워요. 이분은 누구세요? 만나서 반가워요. 이분은 누구세요? 이분은 가렌 씨예요. 이분은 가렌 씨예요. Alright. So this is the first meeting of Mayrin and Tina. So we start with the greetings, of course, like in English. Hello, hi. So greetings and then self-introduction. 안녕하세요. 저는 마이린이에요. So this is used for casual situation. The 이에요 is used for casual situation. So we can see here. Can you see the one that? Okay, you can see it. All right. Here we have 저는. 저는 is a formal and polite way of saying I am, I. So if it is not polite, we say 나는, 나는. So in Korea, the age is very important because if you are older, older or younger, if you are younger, then you should really use words with respect to elders. Like for example, the 저는, this is very good to use in formal situation, or if you meet someone for the first time, because you don't know if you're the older one or the younger one. So it is very safe to use 저는 마이린이에요. So if you're going to talk to younger, like students, for example, we can say 나는, 나는. So actually, it is just the word 저. So the 는 here is a marker being used with the topic. So 저는 마이린이에요. So maybe we can just learn more of the expressions that we can use, and then not giving much emphasis to grammar, because grammar makes our head aches. All right, so 저는 마이린이에요. So if you would like to introduce yourself in Korean, so you just use 저는 and then change the 마이린 and then just use the 이에요. So for example, your name is what else? Rina. 저는 리나예요. So this time, so you see here 이에요. So my name is Mairin. Mairin. So if you see the Korean word Mairin, there is this called 받침. 받침, or you can just think of the consonant ending, like Mairin. So the n, the end sound is the last. The last sound is consonant. So the last sound is consonant. So what we use here is 이에요. 마이린이에요. Let's see. For Tina. 안녕하세요. 저는 티나예요. 티나예요. So if we say Tina, so the last sound is a vowel sound. So we use 예요. 예요. Alright? So, sa pagpapakilala, when you are introducing yourself, iyeyo and yeyo. If the last sound of your name is consonant, iyeyo. If the last sound of your name is a vowel sound, yeyo. Again, 마이린이에요. 디나예요. 만나서 반가워요. So 만나서 반가워요 is saying nice to meet you. Nice to meet you. So of course, like when we use English, of course we say nice to meet you when we meet the person for the first time. So same in Korea, 만나서 반가워요. But 만나서 반가워요 is a casual form of saying nice to meet you. I'm glad to meet you. So if you are going to meet someone, for example, a teacher, and even though you don't know, we don't know the age or the position, it is much better to actually say 처음 뵙겠습니다. 처음 뵙겠습니다. But this is actually, we are more of staying in a casual situation. So 만나서 반가워요 is okay. 만나서 반가워요. Nice to meet you. And then there is a question here. 이분은 누구세요? 이분은 누구세요? So 이분, this person. 이분 means this person. So in this situation, maybe Tina is with someone, and then Myrin is near to Tina and the other friend. So that's why Myrin said, 이분은 누구세요? 이분은 누구세요? So who is this person? Who is she? Or who is he? So 이분 is this person. 분 is a very polite form, of saying this person. A person is called 사람 in Korea. 이 사람 누구세요? Well, 이 사람 누구세요 also is correct. But then it is not that polite, especially if we are going to ask someone and then that someone is older than us. So it's better to say 이분은 누구세요? 분 is a person. 이분은 누구세요? 누구세요 is who. So who is this person? And then this is asking in polite form. So 만나서 반가워요. 이분은 누구세요? So Tina answered, 이분은. So the question is 이분은 누구세요? So when we answer, we also say 이분은. So this person. 이분은 가렌 씨예요. 이분은 가렌 씨예요. So the name of the other person in this situation is Karen. But we can see here, Karen 씨예요. So she here is the Miss. It's like saying Miss Karen. Though when we use Miss, we should use the last name of the person. Like for example, Miss Kim, Miss Lee, something like that. But also we use Miss Karen in other countries. Like in the Philippines, we are also used to Miss and then saying the name of the person. So it is expressing politely. So it's a polite expression, she. So we don't just here in Korea, if you just say the name of the person, actually that is really impolite. But of course, with my son, for example, Dongyeon, My son is here. Hello. So I can just say the word Donghyun because I am his mother. So he's old. He is younger than me. So it's okay to use the name. But for the people that we encounter outside, especially if they are older than us, then it's not proper to just call them by names like Karen. So we say Karen she, Karen she. So she is used for Mr. or Miss. Okay. All right. So this is our conversation. So next time, if you are going to join me here in my live stream, then you can also, I can send the link of StreamYard. And then if you would like to practice reading and then have this conversation practice or dialogue practice, you are very welcome. All right. So let's move to the next. So the next one here is, let me see. Oops, it's gone. Okay. So the iyeyo and yeyo. So earlier I told you about the iyeyo and yeyo. Well, actually, it is not just being used after the name when we introduce ourselves, like 저는 이마이린이에요, 티나예요. So mostly iyeyo and yeyo are also markers that, or not markers actually, they are being used with noun. So what else? Okay, I have here example later. Okay, let's move to this example. Book is called check in Korea. So we can use the book, check, and then we add 이에요. So for things, it's just the same. So I told you if the last sound is consonant, we use ieo. And if the last sound is a vowel, then we say yeo. So the patchim that we are talking here is like this. If you can see the word patchim, so we have the pa and then the tigut under. So the characters that we see under are called patchim. So patchim. All right. So in this conversation, we have some new words here. We have cha, cha. So the pronunciation of this is cha, cha. Like I've said, 저는 마이린이에요. 저는 저 마이린이에요 is understandable, but we need to use the 는. 저는 마이린이에요. And number two, 안녕하세요. We all know that it's a form of greeting in Korea. So in the Philippines and in English, we have different greetings in the morning, afternoon, and evening. But in Korea, morning, afternoon, evening, midnight, we can just say 안녕하세요. But sometimes they are also using the good morning expression like 좋은 아침입니다. 좋은 아침이에요. 좋은 아침. All right. So number three, 이분. 이분 means this person. 이분은 누구세요? Who is this person? Again, saying it politely. 이분. 분 is the person. Number four, 만나서 반가워요. 만나서 반가워요. Nice to meet you. 만나서 반가워요. Nice to meet you all. And number five is 누구. 누구 is who. Simply who. 누구세요? It can mean who are you? 누구세요? Like for example, someone calls us and then we don't know the number. There's no name, just the number. So we can say 여보세요? 누구세요? 누구세요? Sino po sila? Who are you? Who am I talking to? So 누구세요? Oh, it's here. 누구 and then 누구세요? And then number 7 is she. She means Mr. and or Mrs. Oh, by the way, before I move on, I would like to say hello, hello, and good evening to our friends. Sis Grace Unye. Nawala yung ating background music. Sis Grace Unye. And the Cluzas. Hello, hello. Hi, Uni. Yes, oh, diba? The Cluzas knows how to say ate, sister in Korean. So it's Uni. Again, it's nice to meet you. And no, it's not. It's not nice to meet you. Hindi natin first meeting. It's nice to see you, Grace Unye and the Cluzas. And this would be my welcome music for Grace Unye and the Cluzas. All right. That's our intermission advertisement. Okay. Grace Unye, I know you already know this because this is the basic of the Korean language. Very basic. So we start with the very basic. So here are the new words. 저, 안녕하세요, 이분, 만나서 반가워요, 누구세요, and she. Okay, but be careful of the she. So here in Korea, there is a bad word, and then it starts with a she. So be careful of saying it. So we just use it with the name, like Grace Unye she, and then Diklusas she, Dongmong TV she. Ayan. So if you are going to enter some live streams of Korean, they always mention the name of the channel with she. Like for example, I visited last time, so my channel name is Miles Lee. Actually, not she. They use other polite expression nim. Miles Lee nim. Okay, Grace Unye nim. Diklusas nim. So, that's also a polite word that we use with the name. So the nim. So instead of she. So again, thank you, Grace Unye nim. Diklusas nim. Yan. Let's move to the next. So this time we are going to learn how to ask a simple question. So anywhere we go, we need to ask something like what we are going to eat, what we are eating, what's this. We are always curious of something. So we say, what's this? So in Korean, we say 이것은 뭐예요? 이것은 뭐예요? What's this? So in answering this question, so the 이것 here is this, 이것, and then the marker being used is 은. So 이것, 은. So the 받침 here, the siot, the S sound that we have here, will go up with the 은. So the pronunciation will not be igot 은, but instead it should be heard like smoothly. So 이것은. So it should be 이것은 뭐예요? 이것은 뭐예요? What's this? So we are going to practice answering this with 이에요 and 예요. So the first question here is 이것은? No. This is not a question. Okay, let me see. I will ask the question, for example, 이것은 뭐예요? And then I am talking about this one. I'm asking about this one. So you are going to say 이것은 책이에요. 이것은 책이에요. 이것은 책이에요. So here we used 이에요, and as I have said earlier, because the last sound of check is a consonant sound. So we use 이에요. Next, the second one, the second picture. 이것은 뭐예요? 이것은 뭐예요? 이것은 시계예요. So clock in Korea is called 시계. So the C sound here is not really pronounced as C, though we can uh, see here that there is an S and I sound. So the C here is being pronounced as she. We put H at the middle of S and I. So it becomes she. So uh that's why they called taxi as taxi. Oh, please wait for a moment. I need to charge my notebook. Dongyeon, please charge the notebook. Oh, we don't have. Okay, please charge the notebook, please. Just unplug the air condition and then. Okay, let's move back. I'm back. Okay. Hindi ko alam kung saan ako natapos. I don't know where did I ended my lesson. Okay, let me repeat this. Let me just repeat this to you again. 이것은 책이에요. 이것은 책이에요. 이것은 시계예요. 이것은 시계예요. 이것은 가방이에요. 이것은 가방이에요. Again, remember, if the last sound of the noun is a consonant, then we just use 이에요. And then if the last sound is a vowel, then we use 예요. So I hope that you can now introduce yourself saying saying 저는 땡땡이에요. The 땡땡 is the name. So 저는 이마예린이에요. All right. At this time, we are going to learn how to say this and that. This and that. So in English, it's very easy. This, that. This and that. So when we say that's why when we say 이것은 뭐예요? So we say, what's this? The in 이것은 뭐예요 means this. And then the next one that you see here is 저. 저. So it is saying that if the person, no, not the person, this is used for things only. If the thing is far from both of you. So you and your friends are talking, and then something is far from both of you. So we say 저것. 아, 저것은 예쁜 가방이에요. Ah, that's a beautiful bag. 저것. 저. We can't just say 저. So we say 저것. So here, 이거, we say 이것. 저것. And the other that is used when something is near the person that you are talking. So we can also, yes, something is near the person that you are talking. And we can also use this 그, even though that something is far from the both of you, I think. Is that possible? 그. That is for maybe talking about a person. Like for example, 그분. For example, 그분. If the person is not around, for example, your friend and you are talking of another friend who is not around. But it's not good to talk about your friend when they are not around. Okay. Okay, so we say 그분. Okay, even if they are not around. So again, becomes 이것, 저 becomes 저것, and then 그 becomes 그것. But it is also being shortened. So in 이것, 저것, and 그것, we need to also add a marker 은 and 는. So if the last sound, like here, 이것, it's a consonant sound. So we are going to use the 은. So that's why we say 이것, 이것은, 저것은, 그것은. And it is shortened as 이건. I think this is better to use because 이것은, the 은 is actually a little hard to pronounce. So we can just say 이건 뭐예요? 저건 뭐예요? 그건 뭐예요? In asking what's this, what's that. Again, 이건 뭐예요? If that something is near to both of you. 저건 뭐예요? 저건 뭐예요? If something is far from both of you. And 그건 뭐예요? If that something is near the person you are talking. And of course, if we are going to answer what's this and what's that, again, we just need to say like this. 이것은 땡땡이에요. 이것은 뭐뭐예요. So the 땡땡 and the 뭐뭐 is the name of the thing that you can use plus the 이에요 and 예요. Okay, before we continue again, thank you very much. This is Grace 은예. Grace 은예님 감사합니다. 오늘 함께 있게 해주셔서 감사합니다. So here is the 은는 that I've told you earlier that we attached to the egot 는. Again, if the last sound is consonant, we use n. But if the last sound is a vowel, we say 는. And these are topic markers. So when do we use these markers? We use in giving new information, like giving information about yourself, like saying my name is 저는 이마예린이에요. So there we have the 는. So like in the example, 저는 디나입니다. 저, the last sound is a vowel, so we use 는. 저는 디나입니다. And also we use this 은는 in giving general or factual statement. Like for example, it's Saturday today. What is it? 오늘은 토요일이에요. 오늘은 토요일이에요. 토요일 in Korean is Saturday, but today is not Saturday. It's not a fact. It's not a fact, but let's see. Today is Tuesday. So let's use Tuesday. Tuesday is 화요일 in Korean. So 오늘은 화요일이에요. 오늘은 화요일이에요. So at this point we use 은. Why? Because the last sound of the today, 오늘. Today is 오늘 in Korean. The 을, we can hear that there is like an R and L sound. So it means consonant. So we use 은. So we say 오늘은 토요일이에요. And we also use this for contrast or comparison, like in the sample number 3. Let me read to you number 3. 기영은 사과를 좋아해요. 그런데 수지는 사과를 안 좋아해. So let me read it a little bit faster now, a little bit natural. 기영은 사과를 좋아해요. 그런데 수지는 사과를 안 좋아해요. So there are two persons. 지영. 지영 is a name. So 지영. So the last sound is ang. So there is an ng sound which is consonant. So we use 은 here. 지영은 사과를 좋아해요. 좋아해요 means like. So it means 지영 likes apples. 지영 likes apples. 지영은 사과를 좋아해요. 그런데 is but. But 수지는 사과를 안 좋아해요. 그런데 수지는 사과를 안 좋아해요. 수지 is the name and the last sound is a vowel. So 는, we use 는. 사과를 안 좋아해요. 좋아해요 like, 안 좋아해요. You use 안 좋아해요 if you don't like. 사과를 좋아해요. 사과를 안 좋아해요. 좋아해요. So this is not only for something. We can also say 좋아해요 for someone. Like what we watch sa mga K-dramas. They say, oh, 좋아해. 좋아해. Instead of saying I love you, at first, they don't actually say 사랑해 at first. They first say 좋아해. So it means they like you, but not yet love, di ba? But mas maganda kung love. I love you dapat, hindi I like you. Oh, sorry. Mali ang napindot. Not the upload, sorry. Sorry for that. Okay, 좋아해요, 안 좋아해요. Next, uh, 은는 also is being used to focus on description. Like number 4, 수지는 지금 쇼핑하고 있어요. 수지는 지금 쇼핑하고 있어요. 수지는 지금 쇼핑하고 있어요. So this is describing what Suji is doing. 수지는 and who is doing the action actually. So 수지는 지금 쇼핑하고 있어요. So shopping in Korean is uh, also shopping, but the pronunciation is just different. shopping. 쇼핑하고 있어요. 하고 있어요. Later, we are also going to talk about 하고 있어요, but for the heads up, it means ing. When we hear 하고 있어요, it means doing something. The verb is in the form of ing. Moment. Okay, so these are the examples, the sentence where we use the 은는 as the topic marker for giving information, statement, comparison, and focusing on description. Ayun, medyo marami tayong napag-aralan ngayon. So the next conversation will be next time. Okay, exact 1 hour. So let me summarize what we have learned today. So based on this conversation, we learned how to greet saying 안녕하세요. 안녕하세요. Okay? So next time, no need to say you will not say anong sayo because you already know 안녕하세요. So 안녕하세요. And then we also learned how to introduce ourselves by this conversation saying 저는 마예린이에요. 저는 마예린이에요. So you can practice with your name. And then 만나서 반가워요. 만나서 반가워요. Nice to meet you. And then if you would like to ask who is this someone, 이분은 누구세요? 이분은 누구세요? And then also we learned how to attach she to a name to show our politeness. And so we had the ieo and yeo. So now you know how to learn ieo and yeo. Again, if the last sound is a consonant, we use ieo. And if the last sound is a vowel, is that correct? Vowel sound, we say yeo. What else did we have? All right, if you're going to ask what something is, if you would like to know what something is, then you can just say, what's this? 이것은 뭐예요? 이것은 뭐예요? Or 저것은 뭐예요? Or 그것은 뭐예요? And then in answering, you just say the 이것은. And then the name of the something, also use 이예요 and 예요. And then for shortened being used as shortened form of 이것은, we can just say 이건 뭐예요? 저건 뭐예요? 그건 뭐예요? It's easier to use these three. And also we have learned today the use of 은 and 는 as a topic marker with the sample sentences. Okay, so that was the first lesson of our Let's Learn Korean with Miles Lee live on YouTube. And I hope that these can help our friends and some other people who would like to learn the Korean language. So, again, this is level one. And I hope that we can also meet friends and also we can uh, meet people who really would like to learn or study with us. And then next time, if we have friends or let me say maybe students online for this online Korean study, then I can share the link and we can practice together reading the conversation. Or if you also have questions regarding the lesson, then uh, yeah, questions are welcome. So if you have friends or relatives that you would like to, and they would like to learn the language, please kindly share this video. They can watch a replay or invite them next time. So I am not sure if I can continue this every Tuesday or if I do have other available days, then we can do the live Korean study again. So I hope to see more friends next time. And again, this is Miles Lee for Let's Learn Korean live on YouTube. Thank you for coming again, Grace Unye and Sis Dicluzas. Grace Unye Nim, Dicluzas Nim, and Kim Dongyeon. She, Dongmong, sorry, Dongmong TV Nim. So thank you very much for dropping by. And I hope that we can have a lot of friends next time who can study with us. Again, this is Miles Lee saying, God bless you all. Stay safe and happy, everyone. Bye bye.